Soil. Learning about amazing soil, erosion, and conservation. This is how the earth looked like when it was formed. The surface, or what we call in science as crust, was made up of thick layers of rocks. These rocks were continually being heated by the sun and then cooled by the rain. Wind, water, heat, and cold made these rocks crack and then break into smaller pieces. This breaking up went on continuously for thousands of years, breaking into fine sand, pebbles, and gravel. Along with this, the remains of plants and animals joined up to make up the soil that we have today, and this is the topmost layer of the earth. This layer is called the crust. Soil is made up of layers which are of many colors. The top layer may be more than a few inches thick. The soil here is dark in color and made up of loam and humus. Loam and humus are the remains of plants and animals. The roots of most plants grow in this layer and take food from it. This layer is called the topsoil. Below the topsoil is the subsoil. The subsoil is lighter in color and often gray or red. There is more sand in the subsoil, and it may include many stones also. The roots of only a few trees are long enough to reach the subsoil. There is little food for plants. But if you dig deep enough, you will find a layer of stones and rocks. The upper layer of rocks are soft and porous. Porous means that they have tiny holes which let water pass. The lower rocks are hard and do not allow water to pass through. There is a large crowd of different animals living in the soil. There are plenty minute microorganisms like bacteria in the soil. Bacteria can only be seen under a microscope. Bacteria are thread-like and non-green plants in the soil. We also find insects like ants, grasshoppers, crickets, centipedes, millipedes, scorpions, earthworms, sandworms living in the soil. We also have bigger animals like rats, moles, and rabbits making burrows or holes in the soil to live in. Soil does not remain stationary. It is constantly changing by the action of the sun, wind, rain, rivers, ocean currents, and other natural agents. Because of the action of wind and water, soil is carried away from one place to another. The topsoil is soft and light, and this gets carried away more easily. This wears and damages the soil, and the fine balance between the topsoil and subsoil gets disturbed. This wearing away of the soil by natural forces is called erosion. Erosion not only damages the soil, but it also disturbs plant and animal life. Let's look at the types of erosion that takes place. The force of rainwater and rivers wash away the soil and deposit them from hilly areas to plains. River water carries fine sand, mud particles, and minerals along with it, and then goes and deposits them in low-lying areas. The soil that is deposited by the rivers is called silt. Silt is rich and fertile. The wind also erodes and damages the soil. The wind blows away the soil and deposits it at other places. The fertile topsoil gets damaged easily because it can be easily blown away by the wind. We just learned how wind and water causes erosion of the soil. So, how can we stop the flowing of a river and the blowing of the wind? They too are equally important. What we can do is to slow down the movements of wind and water so that the soil can be saved. This protection of the soil is called conservation. Soil can be conserved in the following ways. Plants are amazing friends to us. Not only do they give us lots to eat, give us fresh air, they also help in conserving soil. The roots of grass and trees bind the soil firmly together and do not allow it to get washed or blown away. Plants and trees conserve soil. Floods cause great damages to the soil. They continually eat away at the soil along the river banks. To conserve soil at these banks, we can build strong and firm embankments which slow down the flow of the river and help avoid damage to crops and soil. When water flows down a slope with great forces, it carries away a lot of soil, causing great damage. Slowing down the flow of water can help reduce this damage. We can achieve this by making terraces or furrows along the hill slopes. These terraces weaken the force of running water. We are able to grow crops and farm on hill with such terraces, and this is called terrace or contour farming. Summary: soil is a great gift from nature, and we should help conserve soil by planting trees. Good soil gives good crop, so conserving soil is must. So, what are you waiting for? Plant some trees.